the core fear holding you back. Find the resistance that's in the way. What my core fear is. I don't know if they're mood swings, but when I get into these depressive moods, what I really can't do is something very personally scary, like putting my face out here on YouTube. You're trying to do is hard. If you're not making it up, that it's a challenge, not just saying, oh, I'm just making a big deal out of nothing. You're not doing that. And it really is something you don't have proof around. And it really is something that maybe you've done something similar and you got a bad result. And it really is something that has a deeper meaning if you were to fail. It would remind you of a belief you have stuck in your gizzard. I'm afraid that because of my ups and downs, I'm unable to commit and do the consistency game. It's kind of like, well, what's the point? If you can't be consistent, might as well not even do it. It's just going to be a painful realization, again, of looking at the statistics, looking at the analytics, and why do I even put the energy into it? What will it mean if when you do the thing, it doesn't work? What is that going to make you believe about yourself? It's going to make me believe about myself. There's no way to show up with a wedgie and that be fine, and that fly, and that work. That's the idea I have in my head. I have to show up on top of my game feeling good. And I think that's a false belief. My resistance now. Second issue could be the same thing for you. It often can be two things. So one is logistical. Maybe you are high strung and you're trying to do something that requires you to be low strung. Why isn't there a low strung? Whatever it is, you're needing to be different than how you kind of are a lot of the time. Maybe you don't actually need to be the different string. It's perfectly fine for me to show up grumpy ass with mascara down my face. This whole thing that you're confronting in your life, what is a broke free soul gonna feel? So one is an I can't problem, and the other one is an it won't work problem, no matter even if I can. The world won't accept it. What belief is that gonna make you say about yourself? That's what you're trying to avoid. It's like rejection. It's like a heartbreak. It's like getting broken up with. I'm not wantable thing is huge, especially if you have experienced trauma. Not wantable and not capable. Those might be core beliefs at the bottom of your barrel. Might find that. That's what I found. Those two sitting there like little gremlins down at the bottom going, you shall not do your goal. Now that you know what your core resistant fear is, the tendency is to keep digging for more information, because there is a fear that solving it is going to make you have to do something about it, which is going to really bring the fear to the top. It isn't going to really go away once you understand what the problem is. I am right now dealing with that in this exact moment. Alchemizing your belief system so that you can do the thing that you want without it feeling like you're going to poo your pants. It's about understanding the core belief or taking a tiny step in the direction of it. Letting yourself have your insecurities. Right now, there is something that your soul is calling you to do, in addition to something your soul is calling you to stop doing. If you can identify what your core resistant fear is, then it's in the description below, the process. You're going to start naturally thinking, well, what would it take for me to not have this fear? Think of something that's one excuse, a big one, that could be causing you this fear and holding you back. Hey, you have a difficult partner and it's like things are really going rocky right now. And then just write down whatever that first thing that comes to mind. And some of them are going to be excuses that are disguised as resistance, but aren't real. And some of them are going to be the real ones that are holding you back. So let's say the first thing you write down is, I don't want to feel like I failed. I want to give it my best because I put in all this time. Okay. And then you think, well, if that wasn't an issue, how would I feel? If magically sunk cost effect and I wouldn't feel like I wasted all my time, how would that affect my resistance? Then could I do what I'm trying to do? When you think of that very first reason, and then you think, well, if that wasn't the case, would I still feel this resistant? For some magical reason, I feel that I made the right decision and I feel free and it wasn't a bad idea. We're not trying to make that happen right now. We're just trying to think of something that's gonna make your nervous system, your brain, believe that it's not an issue so that we can see if there's anything else that still is an issue. So let's say you go, okay, it's not an issue, and you're like, yeah, still triggered, still resistant, still okay. Then there's more. And then you just keep doing that, letting your imagination work through the situation so your brain just doesn't keep getting to that wall and then stopping. You start to think of like new boundaries that you have to set with yourself. Oh, that doesn't have to be a thought in the background, sitting on your amygdala, just sitting there putting pressure. It becomes a tactical issue. Now you're like, well, okay, I don't want to feel guilty. I better give it my all then. Car starts to move instead of like spinning in the mud like... Document below is called Decode Your Resistance. Subscribe, and that document in the link. It's going to help you get through this.